Does anyone have a question?
Stuart, this is Brad.
Yes, Brad?
Other than the double breathing exercise, is there anything else that I need to do in order to draw chi down to the sexual area and to the spine? Lower.
Well, look, the double breathing exercise, the purpose of it is to develop a chakra system inside. To be able to get the heart open, the throat open, the mind quiet, to get centered in the chakra below the navel. That's what the double breathing exercise is for. It's a craft, as I've said at least a million times, that you use to do this. Now, to get energy into the third chakra, energy into the sex, this requires an enormous amount of internal will, because you're up against many blocks, many hindrances, lots of repressed fears and all kinds of things in yourself that, make you, really not want to do this. I mean, it's a very difficult job. So it requires two things. First of all, there's a need to get to God, to become spiritually enlightened. And secondly, the will, the internal will to overcome all the obstructions, the obstacles to do it. And that really is the way energy moves from the chakra below the navel through the sex to the base of this. It's funny because I've been working on this series of, short articles called Tantra. And the one I've been working on today, number 18, we've already published 11. I have 7 more that are ready, but is about exactly this. It's about drawing energy from the chakra below the navel through the sex to the base of the spine. How essential this is for a spiritual life. And as I've said many times, I'll say it again, when energy moves from the sex through, from the base, the third chakra, the chakra below the navel, through the sex to the base of the spine, it undergoes a major transformation. The energy moving through the sex will activate, the male-female principle in a human being, a unification of the wholeness, the oneness of what we are as people, that will give birth to it'll give birth to the Kundalini. And giving birth to the Kundalini, it will allow that energy to rise up the spine, to accumulate in the crown chakra, and then open the crown chakra and allow the soul of a human being to connect with the soul of the universe. Listen, a lot of teachers, for whatever reason, completely skip this part of a human being's development. It's, meditate in the heart chakra, meditate on, so many people meditate in the third eye, I never could understand that one, because if you don't have grounding inside and you just meditate in the third eye, you're going to make yourself crazy. So it's the will, it's that thing in you that says, I am going to get past all of the obstructions. I am in such a need to have a spiritual life. I need to get the energy to move through the sexual area to activate Kundalini. And it's totally dependent on each and every one of us, This is not something that I can even do for you. I can tell you and I can teach you and I can provide a lot of Shakti to help you with this, but it becomes really absolutely essential that a human being taps that need and taps the will to do it inside himself or herself. Now, the male-female principle has nothing to do with one's sexual preferences. You can be gay, you can be straight, you can be Q, XR, whatever those initials are, you can be anything. Inside ourselves, we need to truly unify the opposites. We need to bring the male-female principle together. That happens in the sexual area. And that marriage will give birth to an energy force. It's like a spark, that'll activate Kundalini. So all of this works together. The double breathing gets you centered. It opens, at least the chakra below the navel, the heart, the throat, quiets the mind. Then we need to go put it in second gear. We need to tap our will and our need to grow and to draw energy through the sex to the base of the spine. Well, the principle is very simple. Doing it, I know, is not easy because we're up against, as I always say, the one person that keeps us from having a spiritual life, which is ourselves. So it's learning to master the self. It's learning to master the different stages of inner awareness, the building of chi, the opening of the heart. And without the building of chi, it could be very dangerous to activate Kundalini. It's too powerful a force. And it could really, play around with people's, brain, they're this, they're that. I mean, as I've said many times, there are hospitals, sanitariums all over this country filled with people that are suffering from Kundalini-itis. But getting grounded, using the craft of the double breathing to get grounded, to open the heart, to the throat, to keep the mind quiet. These are the first steps. This makes it possible to activate Kundalini in a healthy way, in an organic way, in a way that will get us our enlightenment. So it's a gradual and incremental work of building. The first step is building our humanity. Balance, foundation, love, joy, communication, mind, wisdom, knowledge. Once that's built through the craft of meditation, then it's okay. Now I have the strength inside to will that energy to go through the sexual area, to bring together the male-female principle and to activate Kundalini. I hope this is clear because this is very basic stuff. And yet it's something that is essential because without the basics, all the rest of it, there's a lot of just verbal abuse. Basically, we abuse ourselves with talking about Kundalini and chakras and this, it's not something that works unless we build a system that allows it to work, that allows us to have the strength to will energy through the sex and create, bringing together that male-female energy. And as I say, it doesn't matter if you're straight, gay, queer, whatever they are, there's a million of them. And whatever you are, it doesn't matter. They still have to bring together the male, female energy, the Shiva Shakti. I mean, one of the greatest examples I ever saw of that was when I was in Nepal. Went to Pashupatinath in Nepal. I don't know if you know that place, but it's a pretty amazing place. It's a Hindu temple. And it was built probably around the 6th, 5th century, really a long time ago. And there's a lineup of, I don't know, maybe 30 statues. They're very ancient statues of a Nandi, the bull, of a lingam and a yoni right in front of the Nandi, and a cobra rising from the lingam and the yoni. And when I first looked at that, it didn't make, and then it suddenly dawned on me, Stuart, the Nandi is chi. The lingam and the yoni is the Shiva Shakti that unifies in the sexual area, that gives birth to the cobra, the Kundalini. This is something they were depicting, 1,500 years ago, 1,800 years ago. They had arrived at that level of wisdom about the internal workings of a human being. So all of this works together. To activate Kundalini, a human being should be very, very grounded inside. And that's what the craft of the double breathing is about, getting that kind of groundedness, getting the mind quiet, mastering chaos and tension that's inside a human being. And then when you have that, you can transform all that chaos and tension by drawing energy through the sexual area and transforming it into the yin and the yang, the Shiva and Shakti, Jehovah Shekinah, the male-female principle, which activates Kundalini. Now, this is something you can't memorize. You can't write down in a book and think you're going to learn it that way. It doesn't work that way. This is something you learn incrementally by building the kind of system I'm talking about. Then it all begins to come together. It's not something I can diagram, although you take a look at all those, mandalas and chakramen that I posted on my web, it's all in that, and that really is the key, that it incrementally grows inside a human being until they have mastered the chaos, all levels of their humanity. And then when you activate Kundalini, you have the strength to be able to ride on that rocket ship. I hope that's clear, because this is the amazing thing that Rudy devised. This is the work that he created. Exactly what I'm talking about. He never talked about it in these terms, and it took me years to learn all of this. And it only was able to learn it through incremental growth that took place inside myself. But he created this breathing double, this is exactly why he created it. Does anyone else have a question?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Great question. Great question. Basics are always great questions. Does anyone else have a question they would like to?
Hi, Stuart. It's Paula.
Yes, Paula.
Thank you for such a beautiful answer. I never tire of hearing it. It's always brand new. Every time you explain it, I feel like I'm relearning it in a new living way. So I appreciate it.
Thank you.
My question is just for the new year, Stuart. Could you impart some wisdom as we're on the precipice of this new year? Could you just please say some words about our new year?
Through the entire meditation, this is going to be a very powerful year, really powerful year. There's going to be a lot of growth in many ways in this situation. I think more people are going to start coming. I'm already getting people that used to come that want to come back, and I'm open to that, unless people have done really crazy things, but I'm open to, people. And through the whole meditation, I'm asking, Bhagwan Nityananda and my beloved Rudy for the energy, the strength to be able to become nothing and a servant of God in 2023. Because I know that I'm going to need that. I know that this is going to be a very expansive year. This is going to be almost the opposite of COVID bullshit, that we had to go through for years, now. The growth there's going to be a lot of nonsense and, political crap and all this stuff you read about, But internal work, I think, is going to have an amazing opportunity to expand this year. And I know I have a big job to do, just doing this. And I keep asking, Rudy and Bhagwan Nityananda, and for help. I need help. I'm not perfect. I haven't arrived yet. I am not God, I need help. All of you need help. You have to ask for it to grow, to be big enough to be able to handle your karma, to handle your spiritual life, to handle everything that you're confronted with in day-to-day reality. We need energy to do that. We need assistance in the cosmos from great beings. And Rudy and Swami Nityananda were simply great beings, enlightened beings, and they are there to provide energy, to provide wisdom, to provide strength for us to be able to do 2023, hopefully on the highest possible level. So I think this new year is going to be an opportunity for that kind of growth. And it's whether we want to take advantage of that or we want to wallow in all our bullshit, and spend time, living in the swamp. Or do we really want to attain a state of nothingness, of oneness with God? So this is what I suggest, this is what I'm doing anyway. And hopefully it helps all of you to recognize that in order to deal with the paramount, the tantamount elements of life, we need to have help from the cosmos. We need teachers like Rudy and Nityananda. We can't ever assume that we can do this without these people. So I think that to me is a very good suggestion of how to walk into 2023. I need help. And all humility. That's what I say, in all humility, in all gratitude. I need the Shakti, the energy, I need the power. First of all, to stay above all of the bullshit that goes on in the world so that I can really be a servant of God.
Thank you, Stuart. That's so beautiful and powerful. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. Does anyone else have a question? Okay, I just to repeat it, Bob Sink has done a beautiful job of mounting my little tantric things and other things. On the website, it looks so beautiful. And all those works of, oh boy, I wish I had that collection of art. In 30 years of being in the art business, those are the pieces I used to look for all the time. They're in the Metropolitan Museum, they're in the Rubin Museum, they're in, the British Museum, they're in, major collections. But I was able to gather them and to use them in the website. And I think they're very beautiful. And I think what's written there is something that can act as a catalyst to help, each and every one of us to truly grow in our lives. That's why I wrote them. I never planned on doing this. It just came out of me. So if you haven't been there, I suggest going and reading some of that stuff, and especially the stuff on Tantra. It's really, some of it is really mind-boggling. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? And I have one more announcement. I'm not sure I'm going to make it again. There is going to be a retreat here on the, I think 17th or 18th, anyway, right before Rudy Samadhi, February. And, look, I used to do retreats once a month somewhere in the world. I can't do that anymore. I almost killed myself, frankly. I wound up in a hospital and flying so much and doing that kind of thing. But there will be a retreat It's gonna be in two ways, based upon how many people sign up. But I need to know pretty soon, because if enough people, so if over 20 people sign up, I'm gonna find a place in Stanford where we'll be able to hold a retreat. If not, I'm gonna have to do it in my apartment, and means I can't really fit more than 10 people. So if you'd like to come, right now, I think there's 5 or 6 people that have already signed up. That have made it, people who have bought plane tickets already, have made a commitment. So if you want to come, let me know. And whoever, the first 10 people that buy plane tickets and make a deposit will come to the retreat. So don't wait till the last week and say, Stuart, I want to come, because it won't be possible. And if 20 people don't sign up, I'm going to just do it in my apartment where we can fit, I think, 10 people. So anyway, as I say, I used to do these every month. They're very powerful. They really transform people, change people. And it's a very good opportunity to spend an intense weekend of in-person classes and healing classes, and to really take that deeply inside and, help you to grow. So I hope people, take care of that quickly. Don't wait until February 8th and think you're going to be able to sign up, because you won't be able to. And then people get disappointed and this and that and on and on and on. Grumble a little bit. There's nothing I can do about it. So God bless you all. And as I told you all of 2022, every one of you is my teacher. Every one of you is a guru for me. Every one of you is showing me what I have to do to grow inside myself. Every one of you is really amazing in my life. And all I can ask for is gratitude, open hearts, doing the inner work, eventually getting to that place where the will draw energy through the sexual area, bringing together the male, female, and activating Kundalini, which is one's pathway to God, to enlightenment. So thank you and bless you all. And I will have class on Wednesday, and I'm looking forward to seeing everyone. Thank you. Bless you.
Thank you, Stuart. Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank
Very,
you,
very
Stuart.
much. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Stuart.